Today I wanted to share with you the history of not a cruise ship, but of a cruise line. The history of cruise and maritime voyages. So Cruise and Maritime Voyages, or CMV for short, was a British cruise line company that was founded in 2009. They provided voyages on smaller and older cruise ships all throughout Northern Europe. The company purchased their first two ships in 2010, and they would continue to purchase ships up until 2019. Let's take a quick look at all of the ships that CMV ever owned or chartered. The Marco Polo. Marco Polo was the first ship that the newly formed Cruise and Maritime Voyages purchased. She was originally part of the Ivan Franco class, where she was called the Alexander Pushkin, but she was renamed to Marco Polo during her refit in 1991. Cruise and Maritime Voyages put lots of money into trying to renovate the old ship, and it worked out. The Marco Polo was one of the most popular ships in the CMV fleet. She was also one of the last ocean liners still sailing, which might have had something to do with her popularity. The Ocean Countess. The second ship that Cruise and Maritime Voyages purchased was the Cunard-built Ocean Countess. Ocean Countess was popular, just like her fleet mate Marco Polo, but in 2012 she left the CMV fleet. Shortly afterwards, she caught fire while she was laid up. The ship was deemed a total loss, and she was scrapped in 2014. The Discovery. The Discovery only sailed with CMV for a little over a year. The ship was more famously known as the Island Princess. She had that name when she sailed with Princess Cruises, from 1972 all the way up until 1999. She was purchased as a replacement for the Ocean Countess in early 2013, but from what I've gathered, Discovery wasn't very popular, which might have been the reason she was sold for scrap in late 2014. The Aster. The Aster was purchased in 2013, and almost overnight, she became the most popular ship in the CMV fleet. She sailed in Australia for part of her career before she moved to Germany. Once she started sailing in Germany, the ship exploded in popularity. In 2021, she was scheduled to move away from sailing in Germany and begin sailing out of France, but obviously that never happened. The Astoria. Honestly, I can't do the Astoria justice in this video. The ship has had a very long and historical career, sailing under many different names. She's most famous for an incident that occurred when she was named the Stockholm. If you don't already know what happened, she hit the Italian liner Andrea Doria, and that ended up sinking the Andrea Doria. Astoria wasn't bought by CMV, but rather chartered by them in 2015. Honestly, I could talk about this ship for 20 minutes and still not cover everything, but we have other ships to cover in this video, so I'll move on. The Magellan. Fans of Carnival Cruise Line should recognize the Magellan instantly because of her iconic funnel. She first set sail with Carnival Cruise Line as the Holiday. She went through a few other owners before being bought by CMV in 2015. CMV renovated the 30-year-old ship, and once they were done, she looked brand new. Personally, this is my favorite ship that was in the CMV fleet, but I'm biased towards Carnival ships. The Columbus. The Columbus originally sailed with P&O as the Star Princess. The ship went through many different owners until she was purchased by CMV in 2017, where she was remodeled and renamed Columbus. There isn't really much to say about this ship. The Vasco da Gama. The Vasco da Gama was the last ship ever purchased by CMV. She was bought in 2019. You may know her as the Pacific Eden, or as the Statendam. The Vasco da Gama only served a little over a year with CMV. Now there were a few other ships that were going to be acquired by CMV that sadly never got the chance to sail with the company. The Pacific Dawn was going to be bought in 2021 and renamed the Amy Johnson. The Pacific Area would have also been purchased in 2021, where she would have been renamed to this word that's on screen now that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Now I know what you're thinking. Why did these two ships never enter service with CMV? Well, as a result of COVID-19, Cruise and Maritime Voyages entered administration. If you didn't know, administration is similar to bankruptcy. As of today, many of CMV's former ships are left with an uncertain future, or a future at a scrapyard. Marco Polo, Aster, and the Magellan have all been beached, or they're on their way to be beached. Columbus and Astoria are left with an uncertain future, and even the Pacific Dawn, which never entered service for CMV, has been sold for scrap. This means that of the 10 ships CMV owned or once planned to own, only 2 of them have a known future. Those are the 2 Statendam-class sister ships. Cruising Maritime Voyages was only around for 10 years, but in that time, they left a strong impact on the European cruising market. They were known for saving older ships from the scrapyards and giving them another life. Unfortunately, though, CMV themselves seem to have been scrapped. Sadly, I never got the chance to sail with CMV, but that's mostly because I live in the United States. Had I been given the chance to sail with them, however, I definitely would. But what about you guys? Did any of you sail with crews in Maritime Voyages? Tell me in the comments below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.